Hello, Serious Survivor here, and it looks like the hackers are at it again. But before we get started, a quick word from the sponsors of this video. Now, tapering's a word being used a lot right now, isn't it? It's a Fed code word for taking money from your pocket. Janet Yellen predicted we would never witness a new financial crisis, but the Fed owes over $30 trillion. Stop your money from being taken by creating a precious metal IRA or 401k with Noble Gold. They're giving away a free 5-ounce solid silver America the Beautiful bullion coin with each qualifying plan you start this month as a thank you. Call 877-646-5347 or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Microsoft said it recently notified more than 600 different organizations that they had been the target of 23,000 new attempts to enter their systems. Russia's premier intelligence agency has launched a campaign to pierce thousands of U.S. government, corporate, and think tank computer networks, as stated by Microsoft officials and cybersecurity experts this Sunday. And this is only months after Mr. Biden imposed sanctions on Moscow in response to a series of sophisticated spy ops it had conducted around the world. The new effort is, quote, very large and it is still ongoing. Tom Burt, one of Microsoft's top security officers, stated in an interview with the New York Times. Government officials confirmed that the operation, apparently aimed at acquiring data stored in the cloud, seemed to come out of the SVR, the Russian intelligence agency. Microsoft insisted that the percentage of successful breaches was small, but it would not provide any information to accurately measure the severity of the theft. Earlier, the White House had blamed the SVR for the SolarWinds hack. And this was a highly sophisticated effort to alter software used by government agencies in the nation's largest companies, given broad access to over 18,000 users. Mr. Biden said the attack undercut trust in the government's basic systems and vowed retaliation. And the retaliation was simply sanctions against Russian financial institutions and technology companies in April. American officials insist that the type of attack Microsoft reported falls into the category of the kind of spying major powers regularly conduct against one another. Still, the operation suggests that even while two governments say they are meeting regularly to combat ransomware and other issues of the internet age, the undermining of the networks continues at an alarming pace. John Holquist, the vice president for intelligence analysis at Mandiant, the company that first detected the SolarWinds attack, said on Sunday at the Cypher Brief Threat Conference in Sea Island, where many cyber experts and intelligence officials met. And he stated, "What we've learned from this is that the SVR is very good and isn't slowing down," end quote. It's not really clear how successful this latest attack has been. Microsoft said it notified more than 600 organizations, and they had been the target of about 23,000 attempts. And the time frame of these 23,000 attacks was not officially disclosed. And to put this into perspective, by comparison, Microsoft stated it had only detected 20,500 targeted attacks from all nation-state actors over the last 3 years. Microsoft said a small percentage of the latest attempts succeeded, but did not provide details or indicate how many of the organizations were actually compromised. American officials confirmed that the operation, which they consider routine spying, was underway. They insisted that if it was successful, it was Microsoft and similar providers of cloud services who should shoulder much of this blame. In recent years, government officials have been pushing to put more data in the cloud because it's far easier to protect information there. For example, Amazon runs the CIA's cloud contract. During the Trump administration, Microsoft won a huge contract to move the Pentagon to the cloud, though the program was recently scrapped by Mr. Biden. But the most recent attack, experts say, was a reminder that moving to the cloud is not a solution, especially if those who administer cloud operations use insufficient security. Microsoft said the attack was focused on its resellers firms that customize the use of the cloud for companies or academic institutions. The hackers apparently calculated that if they could infiltrate the resellers, those firms would have high-level access to the data they wanted, whether it was government emails, defense technologies, or even vaccine research. The Russian intelligence agency was attempting to replicate the approach it used in past attacks by targeting organizations integral to the global information technology supply chain. The supply chain is the chief target of Russian government hackers and now, increasingly, Chinese hackers who are trying to replicate Russia's most successful techniques. In the latest attack, the SVR, known as a stealthy operator in the cyber world, used techniques more akin to brute force. As described by Microsoft, the incursion primarily involved deploying a huge database of stolen passwords in automated attacks intended to get Russian government hackers into Microsoft's cloud services. It's a messier, less efficient operation, and it would only work if some of the resellers of Microsoft's cloud services had not imposed some of the cybersecurity practices that the company required of them last year. Federal officials said they are aggressively using their authority to protect the country from cyber threats, particularly noting a broad new international effort to disrupt ransomware gangs, many of which are based in Russia. And it seems the most common state actors that have participated in this type of hacking or carried out these type of attacks come from 4 major regions, and these are Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. The real concern here, it's concerning enough that data may be stolen, that people's information is compromised, networks are compromised, network security may be compromised. But when we think about the issues that this country is already facing and the problems that this does present, we've already seen a supply chain disruption. And we've seen that disruption just simply and we see that with the just-in-time, the JIT delivery system that America has taken on in the past couple of decades, that at this point in time simply cannot meet the needs of the American public and cannot provide goods and get the goods on store shelves. We're facing a pretty serious supply chain issue. If we think back a few months back, there were some hacks a few months back that took down some meat plants, meat processing plants, and other industries like that caused a short-term supply issue. And what we're seeing are these 4 major players, Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, gearing up. They're not attacking us now, even though they're calling it attacks. I'll tell you exactly what this is. This is practice. They're formulating a game plan. They're seeing what they can do and cannot do. Because let's be realistic about this. They've done it before and they've got away with it. What happens? Mr. Biden goes on TV and says, we're going to retaliate, and then nothing happens. So they know nothing's going to happen. So they're practicing. They're practicing for an actual attack that will take down our supply chain and quite possibly take down the grid. So this is pretty serious. As an individual, me or you, there's not anything we can do about this except prepare. Know that the possibility exists and make preparations so that we can not just survive, but take care of those around us when this situation does occur. Because at this point in time, I think we can all agree that it will occur. The supply chain is going to get worse. And if they infiltrate deep enough, we could even see a grid down to go along with that. Well, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless. And for now, Serious Survivor